by the commission, by the ministry.
Yes, by the ministry.
Now, during this period, in 2018 to 2023, what was the structure in relation to payments, or the arrangement, the approval payments?
Yes, during that period, as I stated during my first appearance, I served KMC for 13 good years.
Right.
But with the in 2018, when the Mayor Bensouda was appointed, I served under him, I think, for 5 months. In fact, 4 months, because in 1 month out of the 5 months, I was in China. So okay. Now the arrangement, the internal arrangement that we had was that each morning I will go to his office to present him the planned activities for the day and also the planned payments. So that's how we were doing things.
And when you present the planned payments, what follows?
Yeah. In some cases, we do agree on the payments, but for other cases, actually, I just don't agree, because there are payments that he will write approve, but knowing that some of those payments are not legit, I wouldn't agree to pay. I wouldn't agree to pay, and most of those payments were payments around Mr. Kanji's constant requests. So we do agree on some payments, but if I see that the payment is not in order, I don't agree, because for me, it's as if you're asking me, like, if he asks me to jump into the ocean, will I do that? So obviously, I don't. There are payments that I don't agree with.
So you are giving an example of Mr. Kanji's payments. What about Mr. Kanji's payments?
Yeah, as I stated the last time, there are instances that, according to him, the mayor would assign him to address certain issues, maybe at the dump site or markets, you know. So what he does was that he will pre-finance those payments.
Allegedly pre-finance them. He doesn't have that money.
Yeah, pre-finance, and you are not talking of $1,000 or $2,000, about hundreds or $200,000. So for me, my problem was that why was Kanjora being assigned to do that? As far as I know, I was the chief accounting officer. And again, what justification will I give to the auditors to accept those claims when already we have the capacity in council, right? We had a planning department of almost over 20 to 30 staff. The carpenters are there, the mercenaries are there. So when it comes to minor or maintenance, they can do it. We also have a mechanical garage where we are paying like 20 or 15 staff. But again, the Kanjora will, go to the extent of outsourcing those work. And whenever I query, he will say, meaning they don't know anything. I said, but you've never tried them. And again, I will not even blame Kanjora, because according to him, he was assigned. For me, I will partly, blame the mayor for assigning Mr. Kanjora to carry out those work. So those are some of the works that he will carry, especially normally during weekends. And on Monday morning, the first thing he will do is just to present me with claims of pre-finance, 100,000, 200,000. So he will meet me at the mayor's office, we will agree, and I just don't accept. So by the time I left that office, I had like 5 of pending payments for Kanjora that would have amounted to millions of dollars. And for me, if you allow me to go on lead council, prior to serving as the CEO of the council, I served as the director of services for 3 good years. So I've lived it all. I've seen everything. I visited the whole community. I know what people were going through, right? For instance, during the rainy season, I just feel guilty of sleeping at night. Why? I do ask myself, why should I be sleeping on this comfortable bed with the air condition when the people who are paying these bills are suffering? I feel guilty. And my colleagues then would attest to this, because I would call them any time of the night. Then you have the disaster management coordinators there, the community development, they were there. I would call them at any point of the night for us to see something, to do something about it. So now, the SOS village there wouldn't give me hard time. The market vendors there, their toilets are always in bad shape. So looking at the situation, having lived there, so I was praying to God to give me the opportunity to at least be at the helm of the office. Then I can have the final decision to be able to impact on the lives of the vulnerable people. And now, when I had that opportunity, and I realized that it is being somehow misused, I got hurt. So whenever Kanjara present to me those hundreds of thousands of dollars to be paid, I will just be calculating in my mind the impact that $300,000 to $200,000 made to the life of the disaster victim at Ibo Town or Talinding Porokono. You know, how do we afford to pay the insurance for our cleansing service laborers? How do we address the backwater dump site? Yes, the backwater dump site is no more smoking, they fence it up, but still it needs a national attention. Yes. So those were issues that was bothering me in my mind, the guilt that was in me. So how can I afford to pay $100,000, $200,000? For me, I consider them illegitimate requests. And everybody knows that, the mayor knows that, and at times he will remark that I was just being stubborn unnecessarily, and even the finance director knew that. And it was around the time that the Janneh Commission was on, and I remember always referring to the finance director and the mayor that who knows, in future, we might be called upon just like this thing is going. And I never knew that way back in 2018 that something like this was coming. I said we just have to be very mindful. We just have to be very mindful. So those are some of the issues that were the long-term reason for me not accepting payments that led to me leaving prematurely at KMC.
You left prematurely because
you
could not proceed with.
No, Kanjura will not give me the opportunity. Anytime we have meetings at the office of the mayor, and I said that I was not going to pay. Yes, mayor will stay silent or remark that I was stubborn, but Kanjura will follow it up with insult and with threats that he will make sure that I will never be confirmed in that position. Yes, I wasn't confirmed, but I left with my head high, and I'm not bowing in shame as I sit here, being viewed even by my kids.
You are certainly not. And I agree with the part that you said, even when the instructions to pay are unlawful, because you can't back it up financially, then a CEO should not.
For me, that's what I asked myself. I said, well, if I pay this, does that mean that when mayor asks me to jump inside the moving vehicle outside, I will do? No, I was not going to do it. So why? And as I said, I know the history. I live with these people. I saw the suffering. So it was a golden opportunity for me to I don't know how to express that.
Right.
Yes.
To fulfill your intentions, right?
Yes, yes.
Good. Now, when you were told, for instance, that you have been stubborn by the mayor, what does that mean?
Yeah, maybe because I was not compliant, because I also had, during Senator Martin's testimony, she also repeated the same thing, saying that the mayor used to tell her that I was stubborn unnecessarily, and that's why, I left.
Good. No, the testimony of the three CEOs, whether acting or not, is consistent that the payments were approved, and then by the mayor, and then the witness who testified here, Kanjura Kanye's attitude as well, is very apparent and clear to the commissioners regarding demanding hundreds of thousands of dollars for work that you don't even know whether it's in fact being done or not in the first place, and pre-financing whether in case where there was no authority to pre-finance. That was Kanjura Kanye, right? And now the other issue is in relation to the employment of the in 2018 when you were there and acting, you have Nuruddin Adams, you have the mayor's cleaner, you have Aisha Fall, and others. What can you tell us about that?
Yes, as I said, I got to know about the request for appointment through Councillor Habib Sise. As I said, he walked into my office holding the memo, asking me, requesting that I should summons establishment and appointment committee meeting. When I asked him about the agenda, he showed me the paper that this was going to be the agenda. And on that memo was a request addressed to Habib. Then I told Habib that obviously I'm not aware because I'm not copied in this, on this letter. So now Habib went mad, you know, it's a whole thing because I said it here earlier because as I said, he did his investigation before coming. He was able to link each and everyone on that list to the mayor. So now I asked Habib, please, since you've asked us to summon a meeting, why can't you wait until the following day, then we can discuss the, but he was furious. He just walked out of my office, went into the mayor's office. There was commotion there. It was really very unfortunate, as I said. So now, the following day, the establishment and committee meeting that Habib initially requested for was held. We had that meeting right at the mayor's chambers, you know. Then this new building was not up.
Yes.
So we have it at the mayor's chambers. As I said, we had Yasin Senghor as a member, Auntie Maria Da Costa was there, Mr. The man, the HR man was there, the name will come. And then the councillors, Habib and all of us, we were right there. So we couldn't reach a conclusion because most of us were against the appointment, especially the fact that Aisha was not qualified, and some of the other staff, you know, they were not vacant positions, so we couldn't reach a conclusion. So it was at that juncture, as I said, we held the meeting at the mayor's office. The mayor was right next door. So it was at that juncture, if I could vividly remember, either Yasin Senghor or Peter requested that, now, why can't we just invite the mayor? Since he's next door, let him come and justify this appointment because we cannot reach conclusion. So that was how we invited the mayor. Yes, when he came, he never sat because there is a special chair that he sits as the chair whenever we have meeting in his boardroom. That's where he leaned on, you know? And this question was posed as to, because Habib was so furious at that point that he was not talking. So it was the other committee members who posed the question as to why, you know, those people should be appointed. There and then the mayor said, well, you people know that I'm an elected person, and this is a norm around the world. When elected people are, you know, come into office, they come along with their people. So that is the main reason why I wanted to have these people on board, because they have been tried and tested. I've worked with all of them, and I want you to allow me, when my tenure ends, of course, I will take them along. So yes, he attended, not as a member of the committee, but he was asked, he was called upon for his opinion. So he just leaned there. I could vividly remember still.
And then that was how the appointments were made?
Yes, then it was then forwarded to the General Council.
Okay, thank you. Anything you want to add?
Regarding
any issue before we apply that you are discharged, or before the commissioners ask you questions?
Before you add on anything, how many advisors during your time were being paid allowances?
Well, during my time, I think it was Kanjora Kanji. I think that's the only one I could remember, Kanjora. Then he was she was an advisor to the mayor.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Council Lima.
No, I was just asking the witness whether she has any other thing to put to the commission's notice before we discharge you.
Yes, for me, what I want to say is that I hold the how to call it, I serve KMC because
Right.
when I came, there were a lot of advices from colleagues and others for me just to go and look for another job because there was no way that I was going to make any change or any impact in KMC. So that was the myth that I wanted people to do away with, because if all the good people are away, who will be there to serve our people? You are talking about 500,000 people, So, and it was very clear, people were suffering, and I believed that at least I could do something about it. That's why I stayed. So what I realized is that there is the need for collaboration, especially between the councils and the central government. Because, for instance, if you look at the Barcote dump site, that place is very dear to my heart. I no longer work for KMC, but I have an adopted son at the SOS village whom I usually visit from time to time. So whenever I go there, I visit my boy, I pass by the Barcote dump site. So yes, it is fenced, it is not smoking, but it is still, as I said, in a very bad shape. And I want to believe that the council don't have the capacity, looking at it, to handle that Barcote dump site. When I was there, we were planning for a tripartite partnership between KMC, Birkama Area Council, and Banjul, because then we realized that part of WCR were, using the dump site. From the Bruceby end to Bijilo to Kelsering, they were all using the dump site. Equally, Banjul too, they were using it. So we said, why not we come together and have a joint agreement where each council will contribute something? Because as it is right now, if you go into the dump site, it is not in very good shape. And I know that KMC does not have what it takes to handle that dump site. So now, during our time, we used to collaborate a lot, like engaging the NEA, engaging the Ministry of Environment, all partners. But as an outsider, what I sense is that, the collaboration is a bit weak because they are always at each other. They are not talking to each other, but talking at each other. I do this, I didn't do this, and that does not promote, efficiency. I don't know whether is that the right
Healthy.
word?
Yes, of
so
course.
There is the need for government to also intervene. How would government ensure that councils also receive what is due to them? But again, councils should also ensure accountability with the little they have. What are they doing with it? I'm not here to give any moral advice, but
you have served as an acting CEO. You have
yes, I have worked with KMC for 13 good years. So if I tell you that I know KMC, believe me, I know KMC to the tip, to my fingertips. I know
believe
KMC,
you.
and I share the plight of our people, and I believe that collectively, if they work as a team, to be honest, they should be able to come up with enviable, maybe environment, I can say, for our people, because our people really need it. This $10, $5 is being collected from the market women, it should be in exchange of services.
Yes.
Yes, so.
But that does not happen in the manner in which it should.
Yeah, to be honest, there is this blame game between central government, local government. I'm not an insider now,
But financial
from the
autonomy.
outside, to be honest, there is the need for collaboration.
Absolutely, no
Yes,
doubt.
there's
Financial
collaboration.
Yes, I agree entirely. Financial autonomy also rests on the council as well, right?
Yes, with the little they have, how are they managing?
Well, do you call that little they have?
Yeah, at least, as I said, I'm also here as an activist
I know.
because I work with civil society.
Right.
Here, I'm wearing the civil society cap.
Yes.
Advocating for government to be paying their dues.
Absolutely.
Right, but again, with the little that they have, because what I've seen from this commission, honestly speaking, it's nothing to take home with. You know? So let them use what they have, utilize them, appropriate it. Then if they are out there to call on the government to pay, then we as activists can come out and support them.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I think the commissioners have had evidence of that in relation to subventions. They will, of course, check the desirability of subventions, or in fact, not just subventions, directly giving them money here and there, but the manner in which it will be best utilized, if funds are given, or the building of capacity, human resources, and so on and so forth. Or even having joint projects. They have had that several cases with other area councils, right?
And even
now,
talking about, sorry,
go ahead.
Talking about the backwater dump site, as I said, it's beyond KMC.
Yes.
KMC don't have the capacity to maintain that. It is no longer in flames or anything, but right now the backwater dump site, I'm saying this as a concerned citizen.
Yes.
And because studies were carried out and it was realized that the underground water has a probability of damaging, it's health issues, health
Yes.
are related. So it's a national issue. The government should also work with councils to engage our international partners,
right?
The Japan, the Chinas, to see what we can do, a lasting solution.
For
but
the
again,
councils
should be willing to work with the government. I'm not here to give them moral this thing, but
you've worked in council, so you have
to do that.
Yes. Now, again, you've worked with council for too long, for 13 years. Worked as acting CEO as well, so you know the issues that are within council. Now, again, what do you think? Because there are lots of corruptions activities in council, right? Corrupt practices in council. All councils, right? The finances of councils are not managed properly. If you see why you would not approve payments like Kanjura Kanye's ridiculous request that are not backed by any evidence whatsoever, financial documentation whatsoever, then there's a problem. There are bigger underlying problems, right? Now, how do you think the funds of council can be better managed? Because what we have in practical terms in the area councils is a disaster, right? So, what is your experience?
For me, the more reason why we have to strengthen the efforts of the audit office.
Right.
Yes, because I want to believe that, once, well, they were engaged on numerous actions, they do come for auditing, but also when it comes to implementation, is always a problem.
Yes.
So I heard during the testimonies of the KMC that the accounts or audit this thing was not functional.
Yes, the department.
Which was a very big, how to call it, a minus, because that's supposed to be a very important unit or committee. So I want to believe that maybe they will also have to strengthen that unit, and also we used to have what we call the multidisciplinary action team, the MDFTs, the technical advisory committee. The technical advisory committee comprised of government offices that are within the municipality. Every other month they will meet and come up with suggestions as to the way forward. So maybe, I don't know whether it is still in existence, but how do we also strengthen that team, because it was really very, very effective, because they are non-council members and they will come up with very good, the fact that they are not being paid by council, so they were free to speak their mind. So
when was this?
Around 2018. I don't know whether it is still, before 2018.
Yes.
Because then...
That was the practice.
That was the practice.
What happened?
I'm not sure whether that team is still on, but we had a very vibrant community development. We had the likes of Fatujiba, they were very good, they were coming up with a lot of ideas. So I don't know whether, I don't know how robust is the current community development that is there, or whether it is still in existence. But we used to have them, and they were very supportive. And what I used to ensure is that I make sure that I reach out to these people, our partners. Today I am with GAMWorks, the other day I am with National Disaster. So reaching out to partners, since we were limited when it comes to equipment or technical know-how, let's go out and reach out to people. And they were very supportive.
Right.
So I think that's also part of the wider recommendation, because we all want to see it work. It is in our interest to make sure to see that our people are living a better life.
Right. Thank you, Salam. I believe we have experts here in the the commission, they will take into consideration what you are saying and perhaps expand on it or have better ideas, or if your ideas are better as well, they know best. In the absence of any question, that's the last issue with respect to the witness and the last issue for the day.
You were there in 2019, correct?
No, I left in October 2018.
2018.
Yes.
All right. Okay. That's all.
All right. Okay, thank you very much for
thank
the
you so much.
opportunity. I'm really very much appreciative of you inviting me to share my thoughts.
Yes.
And it will definitely not stop here when, you know.
You will definitely be contacted if we need further advice or further insight as to some way forward in some of these issues.
All right, thank you. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you are
you.
discharged.
All right.
We may rise.